Previously, on Walrus Reviews.
Charmander against Omastar, then how do you count for the tentacle magma? You really need to rethink your logic on the subject. Quiet. You're telling me this here cheesecake is made with genuine, bona fide vanilla extract?
You're telling me people aren't hitting the subscribe button? Why the hell not?
This virus is reproducing faster than I have ever seen. It could infect the entire world in the matter of days. You're telling me that that's genuine graham cracker crust?
Wait, what? You're telling me people aren't clicking the bell and turning on notifications? Why the hell not?
Sven, your next rope is a grab bag review of tunes produced by Dingo Pictures.
And now on with our story. Ever since the dumb bunny is intent on seeing me tear my hair out, let's get what I could dig up on Dingo Pictures for the technicals out of the way. Dingo was a budget title production company that was legendary for its shitty MS Paint animation and even shittier English dubs. And is probably best known here in the States as the people behind a good chunk of the cartoons put on the PS2 discs of the shovelware game company Phoenix Games Kid Icarus review sometimes. If you assumed that Dingo must have gone out of business by now, you'd be right, with one of the founders of the company being missing and the other dying under mysterious circumstances. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that Dingo was a money laundering scheme designed to take advantage of German tax breaks for films made by German production companies to help fuel competition with Hollywood here in the States. Anywho, on with film number 1, the Land Before Time knockoff, The Little Dinosaur.
Bunga 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 bunga. Me kill big heap dinosaur. Make big Bronto burger. Bunga 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 bunga.
We start our audiovisual product with a scene of dinosaurs set to inappropriate techno music in the background with a green sauropod female and a bluish-green sauropod male fawning over the fact that they have laid their first egg. If you think that the sauropods remind you of Littlefoot, well, they should! Then we get a pterosaur named Cree trying to crack the egg with a hammer, only to be stopped and have the main character Teal hatch out of it. If you're thinking that Teal and Cree remind you of Chomper and Petrie, well, they should. After a time skip, it's revealed that Cree and Teal hang out together all the time by a narrator who happens to be a duck. I don't know why the narrator's a duck, but it's something to mention, I guess. The blue-green Littlefoot, who is Teal's unnamed father, screams for Teal to come to him, and complains that Cree is a bad influence on him and that he will be attending a school for 3 hours a day to keep them apart. Which leads to Teal asking Cree to teach him how to fly by getting him some large leaves and by going on top of a high rocky outcrop with predictable results. If you're hoping he dies and it ends here, I'm sorry to ruin it for you, but the audiovisual product is 44 plus minutes long, and we are only at the 8-minute mark. Anywho, the dad shows up and demands to be told what happened. After a background character tells him the truth, he rightfully screams at Cree, who in turn threatens the unnamed backgroundosaurus with physical violence.
Just wait till I catch you in a dark corner. You'll get the damn good beating.
After some dinking around with the duck narrator and a scene of dinosaurs walking to pad the movie, we cut to the dad and the mom telling Teal that he can't hang out with Cree anymore, and that he's going to finally go to that school mentioned earlier ever so long ago. We get a scene of Teal explaining to Cree that he can't hang out anymore and that he has to attend class, only for Cree to say that they can hang out in secret. We finally get to the classroom where we meet the stupid Professorosaurus and Teal's new classmate. Another chompery color that's supposed to be female, I guess, who's named Fa. After some classroom argument between Teal and a Fa way to run meant to pad the audiovisual product, the Professorosaurus explains about an invention he cooked up that's meant to detect volcanic eruptions. Then we get a scene where the device detects an upcoming volcanic eruption. The Professorosaurus has a meeting with the dino community to explain about the eruption, and no one believes him after he says that science will give them the ability to fly, and goes home. And then we get some more padding with the stupid duck narrator. So after the volcano blows up and our band of dumbassosaurus unfortunately survives by hiding in a cave, they go on a journey to find food because the volcano destroyed all the green food. And also to find Teal's missing parents. First they manage to find some grass, but unfortunately it belongs to a group of gorillas. What? People who made this are scientifically inept morons. Moving on. After Disney rip-off Tarzan's mom talks rip-off Kerchak into letting them eat some food, they move on and run into a group of former herbivores who have turned cannibals and have started eating dinosaur meat. After talking to pad the audiovisual product more instead of just eating the main cast, they tell them what direction Teal's parents probably went. Then the herd of dumbassosaurus move on until they come across the Great Valley, complete with antelope that shouldn't exist yet and everything. They eventually run into a baby dino who looks just like a baby Teal, and it's revealed that his parents are here, and that they just assumed that he was dead and named the baby Teal too, and the audiovisual product finally ends. 1 down, 2 to go. You can do this, Walrus. You can do this. Moving on to the next film, Dingo's interpretation of Aladdin. Oh, god damn it. Anywho, I digress. The English dub of this is super horrible. Even more so than most Dingo Pictures dubs. It sounds like it's being read hophonically by a bunch of people who really don't understand English all that well. Here, take a listen.
A new caravan has arrived this morning.
I know that already. They brought spices from India.
And there is a fakir too.
No, he is snake, charming. I would like to be just like him.
What? A snake show?
Nonce, a marginant.
Aside from the standard Dingo shitty animation, ripped off if not flat out traced character design, the rock bottom English dub, there is nothing really worth talking about. It's just a straight retelling of Aladdin. It's more accurate to the source material than a Disney one, with there being a second less powerful genie of the ring in addition to the one in the lamp, but that's about it. Anywho, let's go on. After totally not Jafar tricks Aladdin's mom, who's alive in this, to believe that he's her late husband's brother and takes Aladdin with him by lying about training him to be a merchant, only for not Jafar to take Aladdin to a garden, have him light a fire, then have a scene that I won't show because it could give someone a seizure, and be magically teleported into totally not the Cave of Wonders. After giving him a ring and establishing that Aladdin should not touch any of the treasure besides the lamp or be turned to stone, not Jafar sends Aladdin to fetch the lamp, only to backpedal and say that he can have all the shiny gem fruit he wants just so long as he's holding the lamp. Did no one proofread this script? Given the fact that the voice actors clearly can't understand English means that it really wouldn't matter, but still. And while I'm on this rant, I know that the lip flaps were animated in German and it's just a dub, but even when watching the German version, the lip flap doesn't really match. Rebecca Pear from Let Me Explain Studios does better job animating lip flap than this. What the hell?
But Rebecca Pear doesn't animate lip flap, Adder.
If you haven't explained a joke, then there is no joke!
Anywho, yes, I know I use that word way too much. Anywho, after some unnecessary padding, which this film has a lot of considering that it's the longest Dingo film being an hour long, not Jafar feels he was lying, but bams off after Aladdin refuses to give him the lamp and seals him in the cave. After some more padding, Aladdin fools around with the ring not Jafar gave him, and finds out that a genie is in it. A genie who is clearly ripping off Apu, the apprentice genie from the I Dream of Genie animated spin-off of the live-action show. But most of you probably recognize him from the new Scooby-Doo movie crossover episode. If you were wondering why the genie is a redhead instead of a blonde and hanging out with the two teenagers instead of a military guy, it's because the spin-off had a completely original cast to help separate it from the live-action version. And that has nothing to do with anything, I just don't want to talk about Dingo Pictures anymore. Anywho, he uses Uglier Apu to get out of the cave and goes home with his incredible gem fruit and the two genie vessels. He cleans off the lamp and discovers the second genie that is clearly ripping off the Robin Williams genie and clearly needs a dentist. Those teeth are yellow as a school bus. His breath must reek. Don't be like the not Disney genie and brush and floss twice a day, kids. After an exchange between Aladdin and his mom so incoherent that I couldn't follow it, we get a scene that's just to remind us that his two friends from earlier still exist. I didn't mention them before because they do so little that we never see them again after this point. Well, anywho, Aladdin starts pulling a manetta and sneaks into a bathhouse to perv on the princess, who, being that this is one of the more, let's say, ambitious Dingo films, we get a horrible attempt at a Disney Princess I Want More song. And no, I'm not torturing you with the musical number. You're welcome. Anywho, he falls head over heels for the princess. And have you ever wondered why every version of this story from the Disney animated one onwards has made the princess a more active character with more agency over her own life? It's because in the original version of the story, Aladdin flagrantly buys the princess as a wife from her father instead of actually falling in love. It takes some doing, but after bribing the father of the year with the gem fruit and some unfunny shenanigans, with the genie and the princess's original fiancé, he gets the Sultan's blessing. With a big old helping of incoherent dialogue and pointless filler while we're at it because it's Dingo Pictures. What else were you expecting? Quality? Anywho, Not Jafar, yeah, I forgot he was in this movie too. So Not Jafar tricks the princess who, as of yet, knows nothing about either genie into giving him the lamp and uses good old school bus teeth to switch places with Aladdin and have him thrown in jail. After some sulking, Aladdin remembers that Apu of the Ring, yeah, don't worry, I forgot he was in this too. So Aladdin remembers that Apu of the Ring exists and magics up a magic flying carpet to get him to the palace to save Princess Sahara. Yeah, apparently the princess has a name. Given that it's Dingo, I was shocked that they bothered giving her one. So Aladdin saved Princess What's-Her-Name from being executed by her father for some reason. I thought that she was being forced to marry Not Jafar. What were you expecting? Shot-to-shot continuity within this story? This is Dingo Pictures, bitch! Continuity's for the weak! Anywho, Aladdin slips Not Jafar some sleeping pills, steals back the lamp, and has school bus teeth put the sleeping Not Jafar on top of a cliff far, far away. Then Aladdin frees school bus teeth. Can't imagine where they got the idea to have him do that from. Anywho, he marries the princess, What's-Her-Name, and it finally ends.
How did you get in here? That door was not supposed to open until after all 3 reviews.
The power of Dingo's incoherent bullshit caused the doors to malfunction.
Now take this! Meat feet! Meat feet! Are they severed feet or hunks of meat? I'll never tell. Is this supposed to be an attack of some kind? It is just annoying.
Nope, but it distracts you long enough for Phantom to teleport behind you.
Every magician needs a rabbit to pull out of his hat. I just thought it was you in a Halloween get up!
That's the power of retcons, bitch! Phantom, if you wouldn't mind getting everyone down and helping Potamus get that virus out of Gridlock's head, while I finish the review so I'll never have to talk about Dingo Pictures ever again?
Well, if I must.
Well, anywho, on to Animal Soccer World. And if I'm being honest, American football, everywhere else football, I could care less, and if I miss something, I'm sorry. But as far as sports movies, it's part of the film's job to get me to care long enough to be invested in the film. But as my lack of excitement can tell you, you can probably tell it failed, so on with the film. Go! For starters, I think I need to get some technicals out of the way for this one. They based the audiovisual product on the soccer scene from Bedknobs and Broomsticks. And by based, I mean they had a soccer match at the end of the 45-minute runtime and bullshit up some major padding for the rest of the runtime. I think I'm going to keep this clip and use it for future meme jokes about padding. Anywho, we start our little excursion by having a Cocker Spaniel named Crumble that is totally not traced from Lady and the Tramp, but only male, that'll be important later. And a little lion cub that is totally not Simba named Joey, talking in a manner so incoherent it sounds like it was wrote by a space alien who had to write an Earth script based on what he heard from a radio broadcast only once. Here, take a listen.
What are you doing today?
I don't know yet.
We can visit some friends.
Sounds good.
I like visiting friends very much.
Then they walk and run into a stork in a flasher jacket named Harry, who looks like Inspector Gadget's persona, who wants to be a reporter, and is basically faking being one until something happens worth reporting on, and then gets interrupted by a nurse duck being loud and annoying. The scene only exists to establish Gadget and the nurse duck as characters and nothing else. Moving on. Later we find out that the nurse duck was called to stop a fight between a dog and totally not Bagheera fighting over a ball. And yes, the crux of the conflict of this story is that they start a soccer game between the dogs, whose name is the Wild Dogs, the Jungle Animals, whose team name is the Jungle Kings, to solve a fight over a fucking rubber kickball. Just go to a Target or something and buy another one! Another story that boils down to what the late Robert Esbert refers to as an idiot plot. Someone please kill me! Anywho, after we get a bunch of scenes where we go over where the game will be, who will play what role, that the Wild Dogs will let Crumble play because he's too small to set up a Rudy subplot, having him go get the bulldog from the mug root beer can to be the goalie, who will sell the candy at the concession stands, that Inspector Gadget and some vultures will be the announcers, that the duck will be on hand for medical bullshit, where the uniforms come from and who will make them, and God, the frickin' padding in this audiovisual product, make it end! See? Keeping the clip is already coming in handy. Anywho, just as they are about to start, some S&M ducks show up. Yes, you heard me right. I think that they're supposed to be biker hooligans, but with the way they're drawn, they look like they routinely get off to having the snot beat out of them, so the moniker of S&M ducks sticks.
Animal soccer world is so inappropriate. It's not really funny, it's just true. Stupid ducks.
There! I made a Phalus reference joke. You can delete your comment now. Anywho, after some slow gameplay meant to pad more, one of the dogs gets hurt, Crummer gets to play, they end in a draw, and we finally end with Crumble and Joey walking into the sunset. My God, that last one was a pain to get through. Now all we need is a way to get Zigwolf back to his channel.
I have to go now. My planet needs me.
That works. Anywho, next time is the top 12 Terra Strong Rolls list. Then your requests have been heard. After that, I'll be reviewing the most requested series to date. It's Kong the Animated Series. See you then. Hello, welcome to the End Slate, home of Walrus Reviews End Slate. Click on another video, watch another video, click subscribe, hit the bell, etc., etc., etc. Making these End Slates last for 20 seconds is kinda hard, so I'm just ad-libbing here. Sorry, everyone.